Our hair is good. Okay. Welcome, Drink with James, episode 127. Look, it is the holiday season, and we just received the gifts that our clients will be getting, which is a custom bottle. Oh, good God. This is a whiskey that we had bottled custom from our friends at Cardinal Spirits in Indiana. So we got 300 of these bad boys going out to clients this week. So here's something I just made up. Do you want one of these? This is only goes to clients. So actually this is minimum a $15,000 bottle of whiskey, because that's the lowest you get to buy in with us. So I'm gonna give one of these away. Comment on this video, favorite Drink with James episode and why. You wanna increase your chances? Follow me on Instagram. That has literally nothing to do with me giving away the bottle, but just I would always like new followers. So do that. We'll send out the bottle next week sometime at the end of the week. Winners will be selected randomly. We'll put it into one of those little things that grabs a number. We'll put you guys into a spreadsheet. We'll grab a number. Boom, boom. That's how it'll be selected. So there's nothing you can do other than what we asked. So it does bring up a good point of holiday gifts. And if you're an influencer and you have brand relationships, at the very minimum, you should be sending an email. If you are, I would not even say an overachiever. If you're just a achiever, you should be sending a handwritten note or a card of some sort. If the brand has paid you anything over $500 this year, you should be sending some sort of gift. Candles are easy. We used to use Jonathan Adler, and Jonathan Adler has a program where you can send them addresses and they will send the candles out for you. I believe they had one that came in like a brass looking copper rose gold container and smelled like champagne and was fantastic, and it was $20 each candle. So pretty good investment for you. Spend $1,000, send out, 50 candles to clients. It's a memorable thing. Now, don't all of you go send the Jonathan Adler candles now. That would be bad, but it's the holiday season. We're spending a good amount of money on these gifts. It's something that you should be thinking about if you are an influencer that is making money and you have clients. Try and take care of them a little bit this holiday season. It's a nice reminder as we roll into 2019. Okay, question number 1. Do you see rates rising for influencers and brands in 2019? I'm assuming that means, do you see rates rising for influencers being paid by brands in 2019? Do I see rates rising? Yes. Do I think they should? No. I think that there's a lot of threats in the influencer space. We talk about them a good amount. One of them is a lack of scarcity. Markets are controlled by supply and demand. There seems to be an almost endless supply of sponsored posts. And if influencers don't say no to more deals, there will continue to be less and less scarcity for brands, which means that they can drive prices down further and further and further, because every time there is one more of something, every other one of those things is less valuable. That is how inflation works, right? If there's $100 in the world in circulation and you print 10 more dollars, then those $100 that were already there are less valuable. So I think in the same way, we have a lot of people rushing into the influencer space, trying to make it as an influencer. We have influencers doing an increasing number of sponsored posts. That is driving scarcity down, which could drive prices down. Again, I'm not sure that is going to happen next year. I think that's probably more of a 2020 problem. But it is something that we are thinking about and trying to think of ways to fix in our, for our business and for our clients. there's in general too much sponsored content happening on an influencer's feed. They're doing too many things. And I do think that in general, influencers, especially as you get above 200 or 300K, are having a hard time defending the prices that they're charging, especially if those influencers are represented by an agency. Then the prices are a fucking fantasy that they're just pulling out of thin air. So, do I think rates will go up? Yes. Do I think they should? No. Do I think we could run into a collapse of influencer pricing in the next few years because of oversaturation of supply? Yes. So, go back, read your high school economics book, tighten up that supply, let's create some scarcity. With scarcity, prices go up, everybody is happy. If you're a smaller influencer, the same theory applies as far as supply and demand goes. I don't think that micro influencers' prices feel as inflated because they're just inherently lower. So while the CPMs may be high, that's cost per 1,000 impressions, just kind of a foundational way that digital marketing people talk about buying media. The overall rate is so low it doesn't feel crazy. It's like, oh, it's 200 for a sponsored post or 300 or 500. That doesn't feel as crazy as 15, 20, 30,000 for an Instagram post for someone who has a lot of followers. So less of a concern in the micro space because for brands, a couple $100 is nothing. Oh, question number 2, how can influencers do unboxing in a way that doesn't seem like bragging, or should they brag, is maybe the question. I've touched on this before. I fucking hate unboxing videos. I think that they are self-serving. I think they are super braggy. I think they are tasteless, classless. I just think they suck. I hate them. Now, I also understand the problem. I know that you guys are getting sent a lot of stuff. I know you want to incorporate that product and give some coverage to your brands that sent it. You know, I know you want to say, oh, thanks so much for the gift, blank brand. So I do think that the unboxing isn't coming from a place of ego. I think it's coming from a place of wanting to show the brand that you got the package and that you appreciate it and show it to your fans. It just doesn't come off that way. It comes off in a very look at me way. The other problem is, again, let's talk economics. As your stories become more and more and more and more about unboxing, and every day or twice or 3 times a week, you are showing all the shit that you're getting, your stories become inherently less interesting. It's just, maybe I'm wrong. You know, maybe people really enjoy those videos. I hate them. I've never met anyone that really likes them. I do think, and I think I said this before, that it is a little different in the beauty space because it's such a product-driven vertical. People just want to see product and they're more interested in that. But for most of you, I think that it provides no value to your followers, and such, all it does is dilute the quality and stickiness of your stories. And by doing that, it dilutes your brand and it makes it less interesting. And when that happens, more people, you know, skip over your stories, and more people skip over your stories. Instagram stops serving those stories to them. The more people they stop serving the stories to, they stop serving your static posts to. And then you email me 6 months later and you say, James, I don't know what happened. The algorithm hates me. And I say to you, the algorithm does not hate you. It hates everyone equally. And you're just one of those people. So I don't think they're interesting. I don't think many people can do them well. You know, who does? You know, Isaac from Isaac Likes, when he does these unboxing, he has this one pocket knife that he uses to open his boxes, and he's like, does it in a very aggressive way, and he like throws the thing out, and then he tries it on. You know, at first I thought it was annoying, but like it is now a thing he does, and so I do watch it, and he's turned unboxing into like a thing that is his thing. And then he actually puts the piece of clothing on and shows it on him, and I think that makes it more interesting. So I think that he is someone who does it well. Jamie Beck, who's been on the show, she does like once a week, she goes through her mail. She is obviously a creative and lovely person, and I think she does a nice job covering the stuff that's being sent to her. And I think the reason Jamie's stuff resonates with me is that she seems legitimately excited about the product, you know, and she does the same thing. She uses everything that she gets and tries it on. If it's clothing, if it's you know, a fragrance, or if it is skincare or something like that, she talks about the product, she gives a little demonstration, she puts it on, she does something to show you interacting with it. So if you have to do unboxing, move it to 1 day a week and make it a thing, and try and create content that is actually interesting and valuable for both the brands that sent you stuff and for your audience. Don't feel like you have to post every single thing a brand sent you, especially if they're sending you shit without asking you. Don't feel like you have to cover that. You know, you should potentially email the brand and say thanks for sending this, or if you don't want the stuff anymore, tell them not to. You know, I mean, I was talking to someone from a brand the other day, and they were joking about, you know, PR giftings and how influencers are turning around, seeing how quickly they can sell it on eBay or, you know, Poshmark or wherever you're kind of reselling stuff. Like, that's not a good look. It's better to, if you don't want something, to send it back to the brand or tell them to take, you know, that you appreciate it, but you know, you don't want them to waste product and to stop sending you stuff. So, final thing, never show your pile of 40 boxes when you get back from Fashion Month. I mean, the fucking posts when people get back from Fashion Month and they show the 50 free things that they got is insane. And again, you have to put yourself into the mindset of like, that is more shit than most people will buy themselves in the entire year. And you are joking about getting all of it for free, and it's just not funny. So let's move away from that. Okay. Question number 3. Do hashtags work these days? They don't seem to create interactions anymore. Hashtags, like everything else on Instagram, have gotten more crowded. There's 1 billion users on it now. It is hard to get noticed on a hashtag, especially if you're using hashtag beauty, hashtag fashion, hashtag, you know, OOTD. There is no chance that's going to be effective for you. Spamming hashtags does not work. You know, in an effort to kind of understand the platform a little bit more, I started following a few hashtags that are a little more niche. So, you know, I'll know I told you that I rented a film Leica camera when I went to Italy this summer, which is a unbelievably pretentious sentence. But what can I do? Know thyself. So I'm interested in potentially buying one for myself. So I started following the Leica M6, which is what the camera's called, hashtag. So hashtag Leica M6, and like hashtag film photography. And I find those to be pretty interesting. I've actually followed a couple people from those hashtags. The content is, you know, is interesting. They don't spam me with it. When we went to Facebook the other day, Christy Dash said that everyone should follow hashtag fluffy puppy if you want your life to be better. So I do think hashtags, I think people are following them. I mean, Instagram says that that's what the data shows, that people are using them. The important thing is to pick a more niche hashtag. So, you know, if you focus on natural hair, probably more likely to find followers that actually care about you rather than hashtag hair, you know, or hashtag beauty. Those big hashtags are also a place where people go in who are trying to get engagement. So they go into the hashtag, this used to be a trick everyone did, go into a hashtag that you use, hashtag OOTD, like 100 photos hopefully those people see that you like their photo, go to your profile, like your photos, follow you, something like that. So I would avoid the bigger hashtags, but try and find more niche ones that are targeted to your actual photo. Hashtagging 30 hashtags, you know, ... and then the 30 hashtags, that I don't think that works anymore. And any of the likes or follows that you get from doing that are going to be from just bots and spam accounts. So that is not an effective strategy, but hashtags can still be used effectively. Well, I believe that is all, people. It is, well, this is not a digital watch, so I can't actually read it. No, I think it's about 5:45, and I think it's about time to actually start drinking this whiskey. And send your questions in, comment for a chance to win that bottle of whiskey. We'll see you next week.